Welcome, Crypto Fam, to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. On today's show, we're going to go through our Market Watch and Bitcoin technical analysis and our stories for today. Trump eliminates SAB 121, allowing banks to custody Bitcoin and crypto assets. Amazing. It's about time. Also today, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, CZ, former CEO of Binance, expresses optimism following Lummis' appointment today. And the feature story of today is President Trump finally signs executive order to evaluate Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and Crypto Reserve. And he also banned central bank digital currency, and he's going to boost stablecoins, so central bank digital currency, CBDCs, that nobody wants. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome to Crypto News Global. I'm your host, Nick Toka. Today is January 23rd, 2023, and it is finally a big day where Trump signs an executive order to at least evaluate Strategic Bitcoin and Crypto Reserve, which is amazing. We've been waiting for that. So finally, Bitcoin's kind of going sideways on the news, which is surprising. Maybe they're waiting for him to have said signs a strategic Bitcoin reserve and not to evaluate. But this is certainly a step in the right direction. Markets today, again, are going pretty much sideways. Trump did appoint Cynthia Lummis in his cabinet. We're going to go through that story a little later on. And right now, let's get into our Bitcoin technical analysis. We've got Bitcoin up slightly, like I said, pretty much going sideways at 103,619, up 0.25%. Ethereum up 1% at exactly 3,300. Solana down after its about a week of big pumpage since Trump took the office and created his Trump coin on the Solana network, but Solana down at 252, down 1.5% today. XRP down 2.5%. Doge down 3.5% at 35 cents currently. In our coin market cap outlook, we've got Bitcoin currently at 2,053 billion market cap. Ethereum 398 billion, XRP at 178 billion, Solana 122 billion, which is up a bit from a couple days ago. Doge at 51.5 billion, Cardano at 34 billion, Tron to wrap up top 10 at $21.5 billion. And the current market cap, total crypto market cap, is exactly 3.5 trillion, with Bitcoin up a bit with their market dominance, up to 58.7%. Ethereum steady at 11.38, pretty much the same as what it's been. XRP down a tiny bit at 5.1%, and Solana up a bit at 3.5% of the total global market cap for crypto. And if we go into our daily watch for the crypto bubble site, we've got about a 50-50 mix. The meme coins, fart, Trump down 10-15%. We've got MNT up, Ethereum Classic up 5.5%. But most things kind of going sideways. For the week, we have, I would say, a 70-30 in the red. Solana up 18% for the week. If we zoom out to the monthly, we've got Solana up substantially at 25% for the month. XRP up 35% for the month. And of course, if we go out to the yearly, pretty much everything in the green. If you've held on, if you've hodled your coin, you have definitely made some money. Into our crypto fear and greed index. Today is a 75 in greed, yesterday an 84 in extreme greed, and last week a 75. And it's approximately 1,200 days until the next Bitcoin halving in April of 2028. We've got 169,438 blocks left to mine until the halving. And there are 1,185,744 coins left to mine until they are completely mined. The last one is mined in 2140. And if we flip into our top assets by market cap globally, we still have Nvidia, now way past Apple at Nvidia number 2, Apple number 3, Microsoft just behind Apple now. Apple at 3.36 trillion and Microsoft at 3.321. Amazon at number 5, 2.5 trillion. Google at 2.4. Bitcoin at 2 trillion 500 billion. Saudi Aramco unchanged at number 8. Silver, Meta, and Tesla round up the top 11. And right now you can get 967 Satoshis for $1 as we speak. And our U.S. national debt, same as usual, up another about 5 trillion from yesterday at 36 trillion, 389 billion, and 100 million, etc., etc. And the other numbers haven't changed. Debt per citizen, 106,993, and per taxpayer, 323,046 US dollar. So a lot of money being owed out there, folks, and that's why they can't let the US dollar fail, and they're having to force the US dollar alongside with Bitcoin. Basically, if their currency defaults, then even if their debt repayment defaults, then they're owed the entire, they have to pay out $36 trillion. So this is why they have to keep printing money and even increasing the debt ceiling in order to pay off really just the interest on the debt. So just know that if they default, the numbers are there again. All the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for this much each. So I don't mean to scare you. They're never going to let it happen. So what's going to end up happening is they're going to just keep increasing the debt ceiling, keep printing more money, even though they say they were going to stop printing. I don't know if they really can. Let's get into our top story of the day. So the Trump effect. He's got some good signings. As we noted before, it was not necessarily the top thing on his campaign trail, Bitcoin, and not the first thing he wanted to do either when it came to his executive orders and plans. But he did get around to it on day 3 of his presidency. So our first story of the day: Trump eliminates SAB 121, which we covered a couple weeks ago, allowing banks to custody Bitcoin and crypto assets. President Trump has officially eliminated the controversial guideline from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission that effectively prevented U.S. banks from holding crypto assets. The administration's new leadership of the SEC just rescinded Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, which forced banks to identify crypto assets held on behalf of their customers as liabilities on their balance sheets. A bill aiming to eliminate the guidance passed both the House and the Senate last year, but President Biden vetoed the bill. So this was to revoke the bill aimed to eliminate that guideline passed the House and the Senate, but President Biden vetoed the bill. Although the issue is a top priority among crypto proponents, the removal of the rule was not a campaign promise. Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan recently said American banks are ready to jump at the chance to custody crypto assets. If the rules come in and make it a real thing that you can actually do business with it, you'll find that the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it. Yeah, so the bill was vetoed. Now banks can hold Bitcoin without it being considered a liability. So they can also hold your Bitcoin. So make no mistake, everybody, they're going to start coming for your Bitcoin. And the same way that Coinbase announced that they're going to allow or start Bitcoin-backed loans, I anticipate your banks are going to start coming around and starting to offer Bitcoin-backed loans because they want your Bitcoin. So don't be surprised if you start seeing some advertising for this now. I think once we do see some advertising, we're going to start really seeing some FOMO, fear of missing out from both the public, the institutional sector, and the residential sector. We're going to see, your aunt's going to start calling you and saying, hey, did you hear about Bitcoin? I'm going to buy some. How can I buy it? And everybody's going to be asking you how to do it. And generally, what I always say is when everybody starts asking you about, how to do financial things, and hey, let's jump on this ship because the ship is now sailing and I want to get in on it, it's often time to get out. That's when things are pumping and, you want to sell high. If you're going to sell, hodling is also still good. Hodl for 4, 8, 10 years. If you can wait, your biddy's going to be worth millions eventually. But if you have to sell and you need the money, when it's really being hyped, and the chart is going straight up, you have to start thinking about getting out of the market at that point. Traditionally, around October, the year after the halving, is when the cycle peak happens. The last Bitcoin halving in 2020 was more of a double peak. So it peaked at about April, then it dipped by a fair amount, and then it also went back up to its traditional, October. I think it was end of October, 1st of November when it had its cycle peak last time. So I'm expecting a similar kind of scenario. Our next story of the day is Strategic Bitcoin Reserve CZ expresses optimism following Lummis' appointment. Binance founder Changpeng Zhao, known as CZ, confirms the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve following Senator Cynthia Lummis' new appointment. The Binance founder confirms, Senator Lummis is appointed to lead the Senate's Digital Asset Subcommittee. Trump's commitment to turn the U.S. into a crypto capital has also sparked optimism. Let's get to the details. The Trump administration's imminent adoption of the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve has regained momentum, driven by Senator Cynthia Lummis' new role in the Senate's Digital Assets Subcommittee. Experts like Binance founder CZ believe that the Senator Lummis appointment to the Crypto Committee is a significant step towards establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve in the U.S. I was just saying this the other day, how he's probably gonna piggyback on her bill that she created. Notably, Trump's vow to make America the crypto capital of and Senator Lummis' new position have sparked optimism in the community. Despite the lack of an official confirmation, experts remain confident that a Bitcoin reserve plan is on the horizon. Sure. Binance CEO confirms the strategic Bitcoin reserve. In his recent post on X, Binance founder expressed his confidence in the impending strategic Bitcoin reserve. His X post read, a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, pretty much confirmed. With a touch of humor, he noted that crypto is moving at crypto speed again, emphasizing the sector's further growth. The Binance founder's comment came on the heels of Senator Cynthia Lummis' designation to lead the Senate's Digital Asset Subcommittee. While the senator remains a key advocate for crypto, her appointment signals promising future developments in the sector. Senator Lummis' post, "There is a big lift ahead," further fuels the community optimism. Uplifted by the senator's news, Dennis Porter, the CEO and founder of Satoshi Action Fund, stated, "This is a huge step forward for the senator's ability to move meaningful legislation forward, including the strategic Bitcoin reserve." Moreover, the official X page of the Bitcoin conference asserted that Senator Cynthia Lummis is effectively putting forth into approving the strategic Bitcoin reserve bill immediately. Yeah, baby. Donald Trump's vow to turn U.S. into the crypto capital. Recently, Trump reiterated his commitment to transforming the U.S. into a crypto capital. Though his initial silence following his inauguration sparked anxiety, the recent development invigorated the crowd. However, as the official announcement hasn't been released, the Bitcoin reserve plan remains uncertain. The community is eagerly awaiting Trump and Senator Lummis' further actions to adopt the Bitcoin reserve. So, the community, I believe in the community, but the community has lost their mind by still being anxious that a Bitcoin strategic reserve is uncertain. So we'll get further into that. That leads us into our next story, because firstly, Cynthia Lummis is, a big proponent of Bitcoin, and she was the first to propose a Bitcoin strategic reserve in the States, and she, created the whole bill and proposed it. And now, as of today, she has been designated to lead the Senate's Digital Asset Subcommittee. So now let's go into our feature story of today. Trump signs executive order to evaluate strategic Bitcoin reserve and crypto reserve. He also bans CBDC and boosts stablecoins. So, we got Lummis, and then we've got an actual executive order to evaluate strategic Bitcoin and crypto reserve. Well, folks, what did we think was going to happen? Of course, it first has to go through some kind of evaluation period. This is how everything happens. I mean, finance doesn't happen overnight. There are regulations, and they need to prove and put forth a case that says this is a good thing for the country. Bitcoin gets a bad rap, but as we've covered, and it's all a media BS rap. So we've covered this before, and in 2024, in terms of scams, because everybody hears, oh, they use cryptocurrency for scams. Oh, Bitcoin's a scam. Bitcoin's... So we covered this about 2 weeks ago, right after the new year. And so in 2024, cryptocurrency scams were worth $3 billion. Okay? cash fiat scams in 2024 accounted for 1.03 trillion. So crypto, 3 billion, fiat, 1 trillion and 3 billion. So exactly $1 trillion more people got scammed out of in fiat currency in 2024, more than crypto. So this whole farce about crypto not being safe, and they're going to scam you with the crypto, and there's all these crypto scams, and it's all bullshit. It's all media driven. It's the same as the whole Biden administration. If you can suppress it, then you have an opportunity to buy in at a cheaper price. If things are looking great for it, the price goes up, it's too expensive. So I think we're seeing that also with the Bitcoin price right now. You would think that a bill signed by the president on day 3, saying they are going to look at and evaluate a Bitcoin strategic reserve would pump the market like mad. But something beyond, regular guys like you and me, some kind of big money, I feel like, is suppressing this, because right now there should be a pump. We might see it tomorrow, but I feel like, the U.S., and not just the U.S., the world powers, and the big money, the Saudi money, the nation states, the pension funds, they need the Bitcoin price to be affordable in order to buy in. If they can buy in at 100 grand, it's much more affordable than if they're buying in at 2, 3, 500 grand. But I certainly do expect a big pump coming up. I mean, this is great news. Let's go through the full story here. President Trump just signed an executive order to evaluate the creation of a strategic national Bitcoin and crypto stockpile, as well as prevent the development of a central bank digital currency, CBDC, while boosting stablecoin adoption. The order, entitled Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology, states the administration supports the responsible growth and use of digital assets and blockchain technology. I'm curious if this creates an acronym. So SALID. I'm going to write it out here because SALIDFT. No, Solidift? I guess not. I thought maybe they were going to do the same as what they did with Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. The order revokes President Biden's previous digital asset directives, and creates a new working group that will coordinate the purpose and propose the unified regulatory approach to digital assets within 180 days. Amazing. So within 6 months, a unified regulatory approach to digital assets within 180, six months. The working group shall evaluate the potential creation and maintenance of a national digital asset stockpile and propose criteria for establishing such a stockpile, potentially derived from cryptocurrencies lawfully seized by the federal government through its law enforcement efforts. The executive order also demands all federal agencies halt any actions related to the development of a government-backed digital version of the dollar, while analyzing how the U.S. can promote the development and growth of a lawful and legitimate dollar-pegged stablecoins creation in the private sector. Meanwhile, The Treasury Department, Department of Justice, Securities and Exchange Commission, and other relevant agencies have 30 days to identify and submit all regulations, guidance, documents, orders, or other items that affect the digital asset sector. U.S. banks are also instructed to provide fair and open access to banking services for all law-abiding individuals, citizens, and private sector entities alike amid accusations that legitimate crypto companies were denied banking services under the previous administration. So, they're forcing banks to legitimize crypto. This part I didn't like. The Treasury Department, Department of Justice, Securities Exchange Commission, and other relevant agencies have 30 days to identify and submit all regulations, guidance, documents. No, that's the part. I do like that part. This part, how the U.S. can promote the development and growth of a lawful and legitimate dollar-pegged stablecoin created in the private sector. Actually, that's not too bad. They're basically saying, F you, CDBC, and how can we promote the development and growth of a lawful and legitimate dollar-pegged stablecoin created in the private sector? So they're kind of saying, Tether, for example, how, because Tether's pegged to the US dollar, how can we use something like Tether? And hopefully it is the one that's chosen. It's the one I trust the most out of these stable coins. How can they peg this to the privately created stable coin? So interesting. This is actually all good news. They're basically saying, Treasury Department, Department of Justice, SEC, get your shit together. You have 30 days to identify and submit all regulations, guidance documents, orders, or other items that affect the digital asset sector. They created a bill they revoked Biden's previous digital asset directives that did not allow banks to hold your Bitcoin. They're basically saying banks now have to allow you to do business with Bitcoin. They're also created a strategic Bitcoin reserve evaluation. So they've got 180 days to basically come up with a solution on what we're going to do with Bitcoin. So all in all, it's a positive. They're talking about Bitcoin. This should be enough. We didn't have anyone else talking about Bitcoin in the past. We didn't have anyone else investing in Bitcoin. I saw an article saying that apparently 80% of Trump's wealth is currently in cryptocurrency, and I wouldn't be too surprised about that. Real estate's gone to shit. He created a meme coin that apparently his net worth, and I haven't researched it, but I was reading an article that said his net worth was $5 billion, and overnight, because of that meme coin, his net worth became 40, 50 billion. So the guy 5x, 10x his net worth on the back of crypto. So I feel like he owes the community something. He probably likes the community. He has been orange pilled by a lot of people in the crypto community, telling him, all about Bitcoin and digital gold, and it's better than gold. So hopefully, he starts running with it, and it looks like he's put everybody on notice. You've got 180 days. The financial sector has 30 days to basically come out with their findings, and then 180 days to determine if they're going to actually create a Bitcoin stockpile. He calls it stockpile. Maybe he's trying to get around the rhetoric of reserve because, the Federal Reserve has this, monopoly on money. And maybe if he starts talking about a Bitcoin reserve, then there could be all this pushback. But if he calls it a stockpile, then maybe it'll be just easier to, how there's always this play on word with the government folks, and it can be exactly the same thing but called something else just to keep people quiet. So I think that's kind of the direction we're looking at. I'm still very, very bullish on Bitcoin, and I'm even more bullish after seeing that today. I have a hard time figuring out if it's going to be a sell the news event tomorrow or tonight, or if it's going to be a slow climb to all-time highs. Based on the news, I feel like it should be a climb to all-time highs, but stranger things have happened in the financial markets and in crypto markets. Lots of volatility still. Hopefully you found this helpful and enlightening, everybody. And please do remember, when talking about money, money is everywhere. Money is abundant. And please, what's not scarce and what's not abundant is your time. We're only here for a certain amount of time, all of us. So spend your time wisely. Also, with money, spend less money than what you earn, and that way you're always in the green. If you suddenly make more money, save more money. Don't spend more money, and start saving today. The younger you are, the better it is to start saving. You can retire for sure easily when you're 40 if you start saving, the earlier the better. Like 20, 21, bang, the money you get, retire, start saving. It will compound itself. If you like Bitcoin, start averaging, dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin over the long run. Even if these cycles go up and down over the long run, you're going to do very well. If you've got a great idea, start that idea today. Even if you're not ready, I tell you guys every single day, start the idea. Things will slowly come together for you. So if you found this stream enjoyable, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you on the next stream, everybody. Thanks so much for joining, folks.